Hey everyone, Once Bitten here. So my first game against Skaven, since they've had their new rulebook out, and my first game against them under 8th edition rules, obviously. So really curious to see how this army plays. I hear it can be pretty tough in 8th. We drew the meeting engagement, and yeah. So after Vanguard movement, I have my Pegasus Knights, hopefully out of range of his Rat Ogres, but I want to secure the flank there. You can see he has some rat ogres, the warp cannon. There's an engineer, some rats, some more rats. I think these are slightly higher level. I forget what they're called. Anyway, warp fire, hell pit abomination, more of these rat slaves, a doom wheel, more little rats, and he has some units not on the board as well. So what I thought I'd do is try to overload this right side. The problem is I kind of ran out of room for my knights. So I've got the Knights Errant, Knights of the Realm with my battle standard, a couple of tray buckets, men-at-arms with my level 2. She has Lore of Beasts. I have a level 4 with my Knights of the Realm. She has Lore of Life. And then I have more people on the left, Archers and Pegasus Knights. So he's got these Gutter Runners that came on first turn. I wasn't really thinking about them. And I heard they were pretty tough. Kind of interested to see how that was going to pan out. Another Warp Fire thing came on turn 1. And on his turn 1, he brought in his Screaming Bell. If you look at the top left, his Hell Pit Abomination, he really just moved completely away from my lines. I'm pretty sure he was worried that I was going to shoot him with my peasants and then drop some rocks on his head, which is pretty much what I would have done. So he moved back out of the range of my archers. Here on the left, he brought his Doom Wheel up to shoot at and otherwise take care of my archers. And overall, not a whole lot happened until the shooting phase. Yeah, so the warp cannon thingy came through, just devastated. Yeah, my prophetess failed her Lookout Sir roll and promptly got taken out of the game on turn 1, along with 3 knights. So yeah, I had to kind of smile at that. So on my turn, I charge the Pegasus Knights into the Gutter Runners. He does a stand and shoot and does 4 wounds on my Peg Knights. Luckily, I passed my panic. I go ahead and get the Knights of the Realm. I had to roll pretty high to get there, but they were able to do it. So with all that, I'm pretty sure I'll beat them. And otherwise, I really hung back. I didn't take my Knights of the Realm up closer because I was just worried about his Rat Ogres getting the charge. When I look at this picture, I'm thinking there was no reason to be so timid. I probably needed to get up there a little bit closer, a little sooner. My Questy Knights were not on the table before. I was able to bring them on first turn, and again, in hindsight, I'm not sure why I didn't bring them in behind. Oh, I know now. I know why, because I had to bring them in along the long side of my table, so they really couldn't be any closer to my right. So that's the reason I brought them up there. And my Heroic Killing Blow Lord was able to come on first turn. Now over here, I made just a hilarious mistake. With my Peg Knights, I charged a unit of his slaves, and thinking, just tie him up for a while. I think I would eventually beat him. And he fled, and so I redirected to another one, and he fled. And I realized I just pushed his units that were pretty far away from combat right to the middle of combat. Because on his turn, they're going to very easily rally, and now he's got his troops all together right where he needs them, thanks to my Pegasus Knights. And now I'm in a river, so yeah, kind of funny. So Brett turn 1, Archer's trying to shoot his stuff, not really doing a whole lot of good there. Throw some stones around, they veer off and kill some slaves, big deal. And after combat, he does a wound on my champion, so my Peg Knights are barely hanging on here, and my Knights Errant overrun and go off the table. And I pretty much had to do that because if I did anything else, his ogres were going to be able to countercharge me. So we go to Skaven turn 2, and he rallies his troops. Brings his Doom. His Doom Wheel actually ignores my archers and comes over to hurt my Peg Knights. Otherwise, you can see here how he rallied him, and then he shoots at me and kills this unit of Peg Knights. Thought the Doom Wheel did very well there. The stupid warp cannon thingy killed 2 more of my Knights of the Realm. and I need to get into combat. So his shooting is absolutely tearing me up. So take my knights, my men at arms into that unit, as you can see, and I purposely charged them, maximizing models, but still shifting to the left because I want to turn uh, my damsel into some kind of beast. She has the levels. She has a number 6 spell on the lore of beasts, and even with the way I moved it, there really wasn't room there. I don't think, um, with the building there, and maybe there was. It's been a few days. I don't remember, but my intent there was to turn her into something really killy, and then hopefully cause some problems. So I tried to charge, and I got the last wound of this champion taken off because I failed my dangerous terrain test. So that's a picture of him tripping while coming out of the water. Yeah. Yeah, so there we go there. And here on the right, really tricky. I'm just trying to keep my Pegasus Knight alive. The Knights Errant come on the table, and they came on, and then I did a reform in a real funky way so that I was hoping he wouldn't be able to see me. And from here, it looks like he can see me, but he couldn't. We put the line of sight thing up there, and I was out of his line of sight. So after combat, we were able to beat the unit of rats, and this is where I learned they don't flee; they just kind of explode. And he didn't do much harm to me, but I'd never even heard of that, so didn't have to make a choice about pursuing. I just reformed to face the charge that I sure was